Welcome back, guys. As I said earlier, we'll be talking about the preparations of the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon towards their doubleheader. First against Cape Verde here in Cameroon, and then against Angola on Tuesday for, I think it's day 3, yes, counting for day 3 of the qualification games for the FIFA World Cup 2026. Alongside me this evening, we are going to be talking with MP. Hi, MP.
Hello.
It's always a pleasure to have you here again.
I'm happy to be here once more.
How have you been?
I've been good.
Work? Family?
Family, because I'm on holiday.
Okay. And with me, we also have Tanda. Tanda was with us in the last podcast, our last session. So, Tanda, hi.
Hello.
How do you do?
Very well, thank you.
One of your ideas was put to play. I think finally we had 2 players that were called in the national team, Jules Amanko of Asri Douala and Chindo John Bosco of Young Sport Academy. Were you impressed about that?
Well, I think we even need to call many more local players. If we can give at least 5 rooms for 5 space, for local players, that will get them, motivated to really show what they are capable of. I think they are much more hungry than most of the players we call from abroad. But there's always a starting point. So having new faces in the team is always a good thing. Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to take a look at the team. 31 players were called by McBride, despite a lot of friction between Minsep and Fekafoot. We have actually landed, and the Lions have had, I think, 5 or 6 training sessions. All these players have answered present, except 2. Firstly, Castelletto, who was forfeited because of injury issues, and then Ivan Neu, whose team, Leganes, just got their promotion to La Liga. I think he's still on maybe an extended break, but the rest of the team is there. We are going to take a closer look at these 31 players. But is there anyone that you think you really moved or impressed that is in this McBride's list?
Carlos Baleba.
Yeah.
I think I've always been following this guy ever since he moved to Brighton, because obviously of the exposure that you get when you play in the Premiership, and I think he's been giving a good account of himself while in Brighton. So it's a good opportunity for him to be called up, and let's see what he'll get to offer. Unfortunately, he's coming in at a time where I would say the atmosphere in the team
It's not perfect.
It's not really a good one to start off with. But then, keeping all of those things aside, if he focuses on the game, I think he can show what he's really capable of.
Yeah, but
for the
he
green
said
shirt.
a few months back, not so long ago, anyway, absolutely before AFCON 2023 in Cote d'Ivoire, he said that he wasn't ready. And I think in a professional sense, he's young. I think 22 or so. He wanted to have more time, more confidence, more stature, let's put it that way, in his team. Do you think between January of 2024 and we are in June of 2024, that 6 months has made that difference?
Definitely it has. I can't give statistics because I don't have it yet. On the playing time he had after the Christmas break in Brighton. But I think
I have it here. He has actually played. Baleba has played 37 games this season, all competitions.
yes, but for Brighton, if you look at the playing time he had after the Christmas window up to the end of the season, he was basically having more playing time, because when he was signed up in Brighton, he used to come over as a sub, usually in the second half, about 15 minutes to the end of the game, or even less. So with time, he has progressed into, starting some games. I think even the game they played against City, he actually started that game where they lost, I think 2-0. And he gave a good account of himself as that holding midfielder in the game. So he has really been developing his confidence. And as well, there's a lot of competition in the team. So there are moments where the coach doesn't use him. And also, it depends too on the philosophy of the opponent. and the philosophy of the coach on how he intends to approach the game. But I believe with the time he's had in the team, the playing time he's had in the team after the winter break, the Christmas season, yes, has given him that confidence to have made the right decision to now participate. Yes, to now think that he's ready to be called up into the national team, and he made himself available. And the coach has equally seen that it's the time for such a player to also come and share in show his ability and contribute to the progress of the national team.
Yeah. So MP Tanda has said he's most impressed by the presence of Carlos Baleba. Do you have another player that you are most impressed by his presence in this particular call-up, this particular FIFA break?
This FIFA break, I'm happy with the return of Mbemo.
Yeah.
You know, we missed him in the AFCON, and he coming fully fit. When he came back to Brentford, we saw what he did after his injury. The goals he scored after having the goals he scored when he just came back from injury, and I'm happy with his return to our national team. The first appearance of Carlos Baleba is something that I appreciate, because we saw in our midfield we've been lacking in that direction.
Yeah.
Because when you talk of players like Koundé and you have Zambo Anguissa, you see the way he always struggle. The struggle he has had in the midfield with the other Martin Nonga and
Hongla and
the other players. Coming with an experienced player from the Premier League like Carlos Baleba, I think you see Anguissa and Carlos Baleba, they will do something that will make me to feel like we are having a good
we are
time.
going to have time to talk about these compartments separately, the attack, the midfield, and the defense. But is there a particular player or some players that you thought don't have their place in this national team? Maybe they should have been called up, maybe bring some new blood, or
when you see
so
somebody,
do you have any of this?
There are a lot of them. I don't see why we'll have somebody like, they call him the Lamine Shino is Basogok. I don't see his return in the national team. What is he coming to do? What experience?
Basogok, by the way,
he played his time.
He has scored just 2 goals this season.
He played his time in the 2017 AFCON. We saw the way he played. We're impressed. He was the best player. But after that, he dwindled. And we've not been seeing him because he's in one of the unheard league in the world. And that does not boost him. That does not make him to play the way he has been playing. So he's coming to the national team. I don't see any effect. But
apart from that, is there any other one?
Yes. Let Abubakar should rest.
That's the team captain.
Yeah, he should rest. I'm serious. Because when you have players that have really played, his age. When I talk of age,
he's 33.
His age. With football, his age. I want him to retire and give the chance to the other players that are coming. And I think that will be good for the team. But when you have Abubakar, he will be like, I want to break a record. That record will make him to be selfish, and he will not give opportunities for the others. So he should retire.
But the national team needs a mix of experience and youth and all of that. Don't you think the presence of guys like Abubakar, you've talked about Basogo, he's not the oldest player in the national team, but he has been around the national team setup for a while. Abubakar is a team captain. Don't you think he still has a role to play? You just will not be too abrupt.
It's shocking when I say Abubakar should retire, because people see him like the ultimate goal scorer in the national team. But I see him like a player that has
done his time. Yeah.
Has done his time. Daring give space for others. A player like Choupo-Moting has always been wanting to show. That's the spirit. When you have somebody have that spirit to show something, he comes in the game with a different mentality. Abubakar is coming with a spirit to break a record because he has been.
Which is a good thing for the team, isn't it?
I don't think it's a good thing because it will be difficult for him.
I have a question. What record is Abubakar targeting to break? Because
Abubakar, I think for now, he's the highest, the top goal scorer all the attackers that are currently playing in the national team. So maybe he wants to go closer to the all-time greats, like
Samuel Eto'o.
Samuel Eto'o and so on.
That's the record I'm struggling to put here.
But
So
he's quite far off in a way.
he's quite far off. But you saw when he went to the AFCON, he was injured. And he wanted to play. Not because he wanted to give something, but because he wanted to show himself that he could score a goal, of which he could not.
Which is a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
I will come back to you. You say Abubakar, Basogo, you don't really see. They don't have
even Kunde
Malong.
Malong.
He was one of Cameroon's best players in the qualifications.
He's a physical player, but lack a lot of technicality.
Well,
when you have a player like Carlos Baleba, he's a young guy. We all saw the way he played in Brighton, and even in this training session, the population went wide with the kind of pass he gave. Kunde Malong will never give you that kind of a pass. He's just a player like when you say a horse player, a bulldozer. But we don't need that in modern football. We don't need it. So that's why I'm saying that when you have players, and I'm also impressed with the coming up of Fai Collins. I forgot to say this. I'm impressed with his coming up. When he was called up, we also the position.
There are some options. There are good options in right back. There is guys like Jackson Chachwa who are doing really well at club level. There is Bokele who is doing well with Bordeaux in France. Okay, that's your opinion. I shouldn't question your opinion. But Tanda, are there some guys in this list of 31 that you think their ship has sailed and should no longer be coming to the national team setup?
Well, I think maybe someone like Choupo-Moting. Yes, I think he has given his contribution to the national team. I don't think he has any.
He's been around since 2010, I think.
Yes, I don't think he really has much again to offer.
He didn't play that much in Bayern for the past 2 seasons.
Yes, and if you look very well, he's always been, to me, a fringe player, especially at club level. He's always used as a sub. I think it's basically when he was in
Shark.
No, Stoke City. Stoke City, that he even got some time where he used to start regularly. But if you look very well, his playing career right from Germany to Paris to England and back to Germany, he's not really had much playing time as a starting player. Yeah, so I think he should.
But I think Choupo-Moting is more better than Abubakar, because if you look at Abubakar, where has he played before? Leaving Stoke to Paris Saint-Germain, from Paris Saint-Germain to Bayern, and you want him to be a top player in those two clubs?
Well, but then
it's not easy. I prefer a substitute, a Cameroonian substitute in Bayern and Paris Saint-Germain than a player that plays for Besiktas.
Really?
Yeah.
Besiktas is a huge European club.
European club. Can you give me the caliber of players that play in Besiktas? How many have won a European trophy? How many of Besiktas players?
You're just citing Besiktas, but remember that Abubakar, before getting to Besiktas, played in Porto.
Is the Portuguese league one of the top European leagues in Europe?
It's one of the top.
Samong.
Where? Apart from the top 5 leagues.
Samong.
I think sometimes they even get into the top 5.
When we talk of top, I don't want us to say the seat.
Okay, let's look at it this way, MP. Let's look at it this way. It's his opinion. He's just naming players that he thinks should not be there. You named yours. You said Abubakar. You said you called Basogo. I don't know if you agree with him that Basogo too doesn't have much to offer.
Yes, I was equally getting into that level. Because Basogo as well. He has been out of the scene for a while, and equally, he's been involved in a league that is not as competitive as
his team got relegated, and he scored just 3 goals for Hatay Sport.
Exactly, and you also
for Akarangoku, I think.
And we need to also see how his playing time. His playing time as well. We have to equally check that. So if he's not being competitive enough, you see guys playing in Saudi Arabia. I think they are even having more competition in Saudi Arabia now than in China.
It's in Turkey anyway. Akarabu.
Sorry, or it's Turkey.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
to me, I think Basogok and Chupomoting, they don't really have much to offer. But I'm happy to see that Ngade is back. Yes, I'm happy. I'm happy to see that Ngade is back. Personally, he's been a very level-headed defender, very calm and composed. It's true that as any other player, you can make mistakes and it gets exploited.
Okay, guys, we will have time to talk these players detailedly. I just wanted you to cite the guys which you thought maybe you are impressed. You both agreed on Baleba. He also talked of Brian Buemo. I think we agree he should be Cameroon's most prolific
it's like a world signing. It's like a world signing for Cameroon.
And by the way, there is talk of him going to clubs like Liverpool and Newcastle who are interested in his signature. So it just tells you the quality of the player. Now let's move to looking at these compartments one after the other. I'll give you the attackers and their stats, and you will just tell me where. And of course, we know the play style of these guys. In attack, we have Basogo, we have Mumbanya of Marseille. Marseille, he had 32 starts played, and then assisted 3 goals, scored 10. I think these are stats for his former club. He moved in January, both for his former club and Marseille, I think. Okay, just Marseille. Then Abubakar, 34 games played, 3 assists and 12 goals. Nkudu, Kevin Kudu, 33 games, 5 assists and 15 goals. Momin Gamalo, 26 games played, 5 assists and 6 goals. Brian Bemo, 27 games played. Of course, we know that he was injured for a huge chunk of the season, but he managed to score 9 goals and chipped in 6 assists for Brentford. Didier Lamkel Zé, who played for Metz. Metz, by the way, have been relegated to the France League 2. Lamkel Zé played 27 matches, 3 assists and 4 goals to his name. Jules Armanco of Ashle Douala in the Cameroonian League scored 24 goals. So, I put this to you. Which your preferred forward lineup? Let's take a 4-3-3 system. 3 attackers, right wing, left wing, center forward. Briefly.
Well, I'll take Kevin Kudu to play on the left side of the attack. Purposely because he's skillful in terms of he's very athletic. He can run, and he's also good at making those cutbacks and call it dropping some of those long balls behind the back line for the main striker to exploit. Main center forward, I'll go with Abubakar because of the experience he has, and
team captain. We don't know whether they're going to change.
Yeah, but the experience he has in playing in that position over the years, and the fact that he can always make a goal happen out of nothing. So I'll go with him. And on the right side of the attack, it's there that I have like 2 options. I can start with Gamale to give more width on the right side. But then
so where do you put Bemo?
I can start with Gamale to give more width on the right side, like I said. And then secondly, I can use Bemo, who is going to use basically the same approach.
But he's more inverted. He plays more like an inverted winger.
Yes, that's what I say. You use basically the same approach as Kudu to cut in on the left, to cut in inside with the left. But he has that ability to shoot, so he can easily take those shots. So that would be my.
So Kudu, Abubakar, Buemo, or Gamale.
Gamale, yes.
Okay. MP, your preferred midfield. Your preferred forward 3 for the game against Cape Verde.
I have Bemo. That's the first player.
Okay. Buemo on the right wing.
On the right wing, I have Kudu, and I have Mombanya. When you see his size, and you see his speed, you see his the energy he brings into a game, then I think This is the best attack we can have for our national team.
Kudu,
Mbemba,
and Mbeumo.
Mbeumo.
Okay. It is your choice. It's quite stable because Mbemba too has that aerial.
We base more on Abubakar because of history. But the actual situation now, I think I'll start with Mbemba. So it depends on the coach.
Nobody's going to start with
like they say, 30 million Cameroonians are all coaches. But I believe if the coach wants to make a good attack line, you have Mbemba, you have Mbeumo, and you have Kudu.
Okay, so that's it for this segment. In the next segment, we are going to look at other compartments of the national team as they prepare their game against Cape Verde. We have looked at the attack. We would look at the midfield and the defense, as well as the goalkeeping department. Catch you right after this break. Hi guys, welcome to the second segment of the Octopus. This edition is focusing on the Lions' preparation for the twin game against Cape Verde and Angola. We are looking at the midfield this time. We already talked about the choices of the two panelists of the attacking three. MP went with Mbemba in the attack, and then Mbeumo on the right side, Kudu on the left. They both agreed on Kudu on the left wing, but Tanda preferred that we go with captain and current record goal scorer for those who are still playing, Abubakar. And then he talked of Ngamale or Mbeumo on the right side. Let's quickly take your choices for the midfield. We are going to go with a three-man midfield. Maybe somewhere along the program we might meet things a little if you prefer a 4 or 5-man midfield. But let's go with a three-man midfield. Who is going to be your best midfield three, MP?
Anguissa, Carlos Baleba, and Cham.
Why?
Cham for the power is going to bring in the midfield. Carlos Baleba for the technical ability in passes, and you have Cham for the support.
Anguissa.
I talk of Anguissa.
You talked of Anguissa. You talked of Cham, Baleba, and then Anguissa.
You have Cham, you have Carlos Baleba, and you have Anguissa.
That's a midfield three.
That's my midfield. You will see Anguissa for the experience he have. You will see Carlos Baleba for his technical ability and the passes that he's going to give. Because when you talk of the midfield, what we expect, it shows that third pass.
Yeah,
third pass you give.
Gives passes, break
for, yes,
lines, defensive
when
lines.
you can break the lines, that's what we need in the midfield. Cham and Anguissa, the two, they can act like they are more centralized to help the defense. So when you have these three, for me, is the best.
Okay. Tanda, who do you go with? Three-man midfield.
You use Anguissa to play as a playmaker, so he can be able to run the lines. Carlos Baleba, because of his agility and the fact that he can read the game more from a defensive perspective as well, and he can also protect the back four in as much as he can give those good passes for going forward, will qualify in his place on the starting lineup for me. And Olivier Cham, he's stepped up his game. In the last match, he scored the penalty which gave us the lead against Libya. So I think he deserves his place there, yes, for continuity's sake.
Now, would you play Carlos Baleba as a sitting holding midfielder or as a box-to-box midfielder?
In my case, I will play him as a
central midfielder,
as a sitting midfielder.
Okay.
Just he will play that pivotal role just in front of the defense, where he can protect the back four, and if he has that liberty to go a bit forward and help in the offensive part of the game, he can equally express himself in that direction.
Our two panelists agree on the midfield of Olivier Cham.
If I was to change that formation for 4-3-3, I think I would have taken a position like giving a 3-5-2.
Yeah, but we are looking at 4-3-3 for now. Let's finish with the 4-3-3.
I'm talking with the caliber of players that we have.
Of course, but you are not the coach.
I'm not the coach. I'm not the coach, but I'm in my own perspective.
Yes.
That is the formation you gave to me, and you were thinking that we should talk about a 4-3-3.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that with the caliber of players that we have, if we go for a formation like you just say 3-5-2, with the caliber of players,
we will come to the variations or the options that might work.
you will see that we
options.
have a lot of players around the midfield that can support the defense and then maybe break the line.
Yeah, we'll get there. Now, for the defense, four-man. Wait, before we get to the defense, goalkeeper, I think is settled. Onana, there's no question about that, right? Okay. Now, for your four-man defense.
Right back.
Right back, we have Collins, we have Chachua, who has played right back. We have, I think, Kilama, too, who is able to play. We don't know much about Kilama. We had Tataya Sport, but he has had a good season.
I think Collins would easily settle in the right back position. I'm picking him because of his previous experience, his previous performances, and equally the fact that Castelletto is not there who could act as an immediate challenger for that position. So I'll go with Collins for right back.
Left back?
Left back.
Five Collins can still play left back.
Yeah, he can play left back. But in this case, no eto'o is a seasoned left back. Yeah. But I don't know. I didn't see Yongwa on the list.
No, Yongwa was not called.
Exactly. So to me, Yongwa would have been a better candidate. But since he's not available, then we have to go with no eto'o.
Okay.
On centre back, obviously there is our much cherished Christopher Wu. So his position is undisputed, and I think yes to me. Yes, to me, his position is undisputed, and he'll fill that position alongside Ngadu.
Wow! So you would have Ngadu, who is extremely slow, and Five, who is aging, on the same side of the defense against guys like Mendes, who are lightning fast. That's a suicide mission, man.
They will find a way. They will find a way.
No, you cannot.
You will find a way.
Okay, MP, who will take for your four-man defense?
I have Christopher Wu, undisputed centre back.
Okay.
There's Mukudi. I take Mukudi with Christopher Wu. Why I'm choosing Mukudi? Because when you see him, he's a fighter. He frightens the attacker. Shows the physical ability and the way he goes.
He's error prone.
He's error prone, but he corrects the error. Give him time. Give him a lot of games and you see the errors being corrected. So just now we don't have Castello because of injury. You take Christopher Wu and you take Mukudi. You have the two at the centre back. We give Five Collins another chance because we saw in the previous AFCON that we lack that delivery from the right back, which we need with no eto'o is undisputed. He showed, he played, and he struggled. We all saw that he was even the only lion that showed that lion ability on the pitch in the AFCON. So I'll go with, I'll go on the left
and Wolf.
On the left with Noho. I'll go on the right with Five Collins, and I'll have my two centre backs. I'll have Christopher Wu and Mukudi.
Okay. All right. So there we have MP's team and we have Tanda's team. MP's team, you have Onana in goal. Yes. Christopher Wu, Mukudi at the center of the defense. No eto'o on the right back, left back, right back, Five Collins. Midfield of Baleba, Cham, and Angisa. And your forward line of Nkudu, Mubanya, and Buemo. It's a good team for me. Tanda, meanwhile, you have
Onana in
goal, Christopher Wu and Ngadu in the center of defense. You both agree on Five Collins and eto'o in the wings. The wing back or left and right back position. Then Baleba, Cham, and Angisa. You guys agreed on that as well. And then your variation is Abubakar in the center of the attack. Kudu and Buemo on the wings. Okay, so this is the team that have been selected by our panelists. Let's see what McBryce does in a few days' time. Whether he's going to give a chance to maybe some other guys who just came in there, 8 of them who are touching the Lions Den for the very first time. There is also, don't forget, Chindo John Bosco, who was electric during the MTN Elite One playoffs, as well as Jules Amanko, who has showed that fox in the box ability, scoring 24 goals in the MTN Elite One Championship last season. There is the very experienced Choupo-Moting, Basogo. In fact, there's so many options to McBride. I think the regime also is going to, we never know, maybe some of these players not named will show something that will convince McBride. Okay, so to end this section, I just want to ask if you had a variation of a formation based on the players that we have. There are guys like Kunde Malon, there's Martin Hongla, there is Mbokele, there is the young eto'o, which is right back as well, I think. What other ideas could you propose based on the players that we have?
Based on the players that we have, I think we can go for a 3-5-2, like I said. 3-5-2 formation for me. You give the midfield the block. And then when you have players like Carlos Baleba, Anguissa, and Cham, take our new Chindo John Bosco, you add to this midfield, I think he will come with a local style, but with that hunger. With that hunger to put something, to show to the population that I can in this place. It can go. And then when you go back to the back, you have just three. You have Christopher Wu, you have Mukudi, and you have Ngadu. These three, they will act as a shield at the center. Then you have Unana. You know, Onana is an open play goalkeeper. He always like to give, and he knows where he is giving his pass. With that 5 block in the midfield, with the 3 center back, and then you have this 2. Just take 2. You take Mbemo and Mobanya. You will see football.
The balance in that team is questionable, but well, it's a variation. Tanda, do you have any variation? Maybe 4-4-2, 4-5-1, or you would?
I'll just go with the traditional 4-4, the conventional 4-4-2. Yeah, so my back four won't change, but I think the midfield, I'll need to bring one of my attackers to the midfield, and I think the person who will be right for this would be Mbeumo to play on the right side of the midfield. He can cut in and go ahead. Then I think Kudu, in this case, to me, would probably go to the bench, and then Mubanya would assist Abubakar up front. Yes.
But there's a lot of lack of pace in that attack. The distance between the attack and the midfield is going to be okay. But that is your idea.
Player for now. You cannot run
that is
that
the idea, and we would see what Coach McBride would propose to us for the first game between Cameroon and Cape Verde. That game takes place at 2 p.m. on Saturday, 8th June 2024. The next segment, we will talk about the Cup of Cameroon, quarterfinal stage, and still 2 regional teams going strong. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, welcome to the final segment of this edition of the Octopus on Hippo Infos. Hope you have been enjoying the discussion with our panelists, Tanda and MP. Of course, everybody knows what has been happening in the Lions Den, in and around Indomitable Lions, the Minsep and Fecafoot saga. How is this going to affect the performance of the players, guys? Do you think it will affect, or it has absolutely nothing to do with what is going to happen to the players?
These guys are professionals, but deep within them, they are affected. Because all Cameroonians have been impacted by this saga from the very start, you know. So the players, although they come out and tell us through the media, secular media, that everything in the Lions Den is all right and everybody's okay, but you cannot go for your first training session. There is no boss. There are no training kits. Even when you arrive the country, you have 2 different coordinators trying to receive you and engage with the match preparations and all of that. So there is a lot of things that have gone on behind the scenes that mentally these guys are not in the right place at the moment.
So you expect this to carry on to the pitch?
Well, like I said,
it's not a pushover.
Like I said, the players are professionals. You expect them to play at a certain level, irrespective of what happens, in that environment. They are supposed to produce at a certain level. But we are all human beings. There are days that you have good days in your job place. There are days that you have bad days because maybe you had some other things that are going on in your life that you're finding difficulties to make them work out. So I think they would definitely still have some issues on the pitch. They will have some issues. But then let's only wait and see what will happen on Saturday.
MP, do you think is it going to be a spillover on the players? I mean, the Fecafoot and Sep saga, it keeps going on and on. When we think that it has died down, everything's calm, boom, and another episode starts.
If you really want to take this saga and put in the national team, then it's just a failure for our national team. When I saw them leaving Hilton and walking, the first club that came to my mind was Young Sport Academy.
Why?
Look at the way Young Sport Academy as compared to teams like Opopo, as compared to teams like Canon, as compared to Restart Renard.
They were not coming in uniform.
They were not coming. You see the guys, they look
shabby.
When you look at their opponent, you just feel like you've been beaten already. But now, the situation is, we know that sometimes, even in our own local terrain, the latecomers are always the one to carry the day. Teams that have been preparing, they have prepared their mind, and teams that have not prepared. You see the team that wasn't that good in terms of preparation became the winner.
Yeah, so the kind of back against the wall kind of thing.
That kind of situation. Now, the only thing that is not good for the image of Cameroon is when you talk of the national team, it's our national emblem. It should be respected. We should forget about Fecafoot, we should forget about Minsep and the people at the top. This is where my problem comes in. As a Cameroonian, you will not have a minister. At the same time, you have an icon. The two cannot meet together and bring a peace so that the national team...
Somebody to just put out a communique earlier today stating that there's going to be a technical meeting, which is tomorrow the 7th, with all the people involved. The technical... No, this is a technical meeting for the match. I'm talking about the match. The technical meeting for the match, where you're going to have the match officials.
You think that the technical meeting for the match just started, but it will start just tomorrow? It started ever since. There's a problem. We Cameroonians, we don't even know how to define words. When you look at the convention that Cameroon signed with FIFA, they talk of Fecafoot autonomy. Is it being respected? And this is the problem. How are they going to prepare when you have the ministry that is against Fecafoot and Fecafoot is against the ministry? Because this simple word autonomy, they cannot define it.
And Fecafoot insisted that they are going to offer, or they insinuated that they will offer accreditation badges only to the staff that they appointed.
If I give you back the question,
so it falls back to the aspect of it affecting the team.
This is what I'm saying. Just take it out. The people that train, or the people that have been training or have been participating in this training session with the Lions, are not the ones to receive them or to take them to the stadium.
Or to be with them on the bench. Right?
Because sometimes when you hear coaches always say, if I have this player, it's already 1-0 for me. It's already 1-0 for me. If I have this 12-man support, it's already... When you look at the technical bench, football does not only come in the pitch. Football also comes from the technical seat.
Absolutely.
So when you have...
From the top management.
When you have the technical side that is already having a problem, how do you expect these guys to perform? They'll play for their souls. They'll play for the country. But now, what image? And football, you can't really predict that, no, because I'm playing at home, I'm going to win. What happens if these guys are
It will be the first time.
if these guys lose their match?
Cameroon has never lost a game at Fandena.
What happens if they lose it? You see that all this, what we've been talking about, they are going to show it, they are going to do it. Remember, Cape Verde performed very well at the AFCON. And these guys, they want to go to the World Cup. Look at their supporters. Look at the way they cried when they lose against South Africa. You think that against Cameroon, they will not want to show their prowess?
And they have been training very calmly in a serene environment.
Where in Portugal?
In Portugal.
In a very calm environment. So the problem in Cameroon is not just Minsef Fekafoot, but us Cameroonians.
Yeah, I was going to come to that. Tanda, do you believe that the players themselves could have or should maybe come out through their captain and make a statement, try to play a mediation role, because they are the ones at the center of all of this.
The players are at the center of all of this, and they have a very big role to play as well, by letting us know exactly how they feel about the whole situation, which they haven't done. And we have leaders in this team who have been very vocal on certain things and other things. But in this situation,
suddenly
everyone has just become, dead silent. So it's kind of bizarre to see such players behave as such. I'll bring out examples in the 2021 Nations Cup, which we hosted in January 2022. Abubakar, on one of the post-match interviews, said that some players were selfish on the pitch. I believe that was the game we played against Egypt where we lost. And in this case, without really making some insinuations, he felt that he was not being fed the ball because some players wanted to show off and try to create certain things like that. And which eventually gave the impression that even in the dressing room, there was some kind of friction among the players. Anyway, that's an isolated case. We also take the case of what happened in Qatar with Onana and how he came out and equally spoke about it. Eventually, they settled the differences between him and the management of the team. But in this kind of situation, the players have to speak up. And if you also compare the treatment that the players receive in the years and the treatment that the players receive in this current regime when it comes to their match bonuses, even the travels, the way they are being treated and so on, there's a huge disparity. And that is to tell you to an extent that, okay, even if there is some kind of criticism, or even if there's something that the current management of the federation are not doing well, they are still trying as much as possible to make sure that those who are called up into the national team get the best, so that they can produce the results that we all want them to produce, which is to keep flying the flag of Cameroon high and performing on the pitch.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you guys your predictions, score predictions for this.
Before going into the prediction, I just want to add to his point.
Yes,
we remember that in 2014,
in
2014 when Cameroon was going for the World Cup in Brazil, Eto'o refused. He refused to. So
that was him
taking the flag.
He was taking the lead to say that things are not okay.
The Prime Minister usually gives the flag for,
because
there was a problem.
A lot of people use that as like he was a bad example.
It was not a bad example. That's why I want to say that we Cameroonians, we are the problems. Eto'o is somebody that is a blessing to Cameroon. Let me just say it in a simple way. He has traveled. He has seen so many federations. He has been in Europe for a very long period of time as a professional player, playing at the highest level that these players, we will just say Onana is experiencing today. But truly, when you have an icon like Eto'o that have experience, and when he was doing his campaign speech, he said he wants Cameroon to be at the top when it comes to our own professional leagues. And it's through our professional league that we can judge our federation.
Okay. So you are supporting the fact that the players should play a leading role. Somebody should stand up and say something.
My suggestion is, if they say they don't play politics, but we see the politics being played in MINSEP and FECAFOOT. We see the politics, and it's involving, it's touching each Cameroonian. There is no Cameroonian that will sit and say what is being decided there will not affect us. It's affecting us. And so the players in the field, they should be the one to say our condition, the condition that we are being forced. Because it's just by force. It's not something that they are doing it at will. It's by force.
It's not like they like what's happening.
Because if a player says, I'm not coming, we Cameroonian will say he's not patriotic. But he's coming under which condition? And that is why in my last podcast, in the last podcast that we had, I said the coach is somebody I don't know. And we are seeing it today. Because he's somebody of a high caliber will not sign that contract.
But let me just add into that. I followed an interview of eto'o. And players have different kind of motivations. In life, everybody has what motivates them to do a particular thing. There are players who really practice the sports because they want
money.
They are talented and they want to really enjoy it. There are some who practice the sports because they want to get rich, make money. And in this case, all I can say is that anyone who is involved in the cacophony that we have going on now, it's just money that is motivating him. It's just money. If someone could take that initiative and even stand up and say that
to solve the problem,
what is happening, we feel that it's unjust. We think
they don't seem to care. They are there for their prim and all of that.
We can play or get involved. At least
and
we respect that person.
Mind you, players
so
have
everything that everyone who is involved here right now.
Imagine
sometimes players strike that their bonuses are not being paid.
Yeah, they're just concerned about their money. They're concerned about their paycheck.
But this time they're saying nothing because maybe it's not affecting them directly.
Imagine a situation that a principal of a school wants to change a good teacher and replace with a bad teacher, of which the students
will be affected.
And they know that this person that the teacher that the principal wants to replace has been somebody that.
Oh, let's not even talk about person. Maybe the certain conditions.
No, let's just go with the person. And you see the student, they know that this person that is coming, they are not in accordance with this person because they are familiar with the person that have been teaching them. What would the students do? They will sit and say, no, it's politics. We don't have anything to say. The students will not agree. And when they don't agree, it becomes a plus for the school
to sit down and solve the problem.
For the nation. Sometimes when people take decisions, especially people that are on high offices, when they sit and they take decisions, the decisions sometimes it follows their personal interest. And when it goes with personal interest, it tends to affect the population.
So we are, like I said, we are one of your score prediction. But before that, I want 30 seconds, just 30 seconds. What is the role of the population in all of this? The football fans, those that just want to watch football. How do you see them, coming in this whole situation? The game is there, people want to go to the stadium, but there is that divide between the pro eto'o group. There is those who are pro MINSEP, but all of us, we are saying, oh, it's Lions. How does it play out? I mean, the fans. Just 30 seconds, quickly. What do you think?
The fans, what they have to play. You see people going to the stadiums there is just because of the buzz. It's the buzz. If there was no buzz, you will not see people and train. They just want to see actually what the minister did or what is happening between MINSEP and FECAFOOT. Is it real? People want to see it. Listen, this is the first time ever in the history of Cameroon that players are going to train and you have that kind of a population. You think those population that went there, the guys that went there, they went there just to see those guys train. They went there for a particular purpose to see, wow, this thing that has been happening, like what we had in FECAFOOT and what we had in the population that stood FECAFOOT, they were looking. They want to see. Cameroonians want to see. They are hungry for something that I cannot define. You are hungry for that thing. You cannot define it because the atmosphere is not conducive. We all know it. So the population there is not that they were going to say, now we are behind the national. Look at, let's not be hypocritical. How many Cameroonians wrote to FIFA asking for the federation to be suspended? How many?
Is it not because they want that these people should sit down and instead of
That is
disgracing
it.
us,
Even
they should
if
sit
the
down
match,
and,
even
you
if
know,
the match is not being played, forget about everything that we say here. Even if the match is not being played,
So
Cameroonians will sit and say, let's get back home and fix things. We have been a member of FIFA since 1962. It's not something of yesterday. Something that's been long, and we have been discussing one issue over and over, the issue of autonomy. If this issue is not being fixed, generation upon generation will still carry it. So how does it fix your nationality?
Thunder, do you think it is normal for people to want Cameroonians want the national team to be suspended or the federation to be suspended from FIFA activities? And how do you see quickly the fans? What role do you think they play in all of this?
First of all, it's for FIFA to look in her rule book and determine if Cameroon is eligible to be suspended or not. And one thing that we have to understand is that there's always a bias, there's always politics everywhere.
Yeah, humans.
You see Tanzania suspended or Nigeria suspended, Cameroon, they are still dragging to make a decision. It all depends on what is the motive behind. So that is for FIFA to work on. But as Cameroonians, I would say we are very disappointed in what is transpiring right now in the country regarding this incident. And so all we can hope for is that they find a good solution. However, the government claims that they have the yam and the knife. They are very stern, and no one is above the government. No other institution is above government institutions. So it's for us to see what will be the way out. But I think FECAFOOT had done something that we could applaud, because after the incident where there was a clash between the representative of the minister at FECAFOOT's office, there were measures taken to settle the situation. I think the Secretary General of the ministry was there during that press conference. So it's after that press conference that we saw another dimension of the way things started playing out.
There are other players, the CCA has come in and all of that.
So it's then taking another dimension that nobody could anticipate. So well, let's see what will be the outcome. If it's that there has to be a suspension or a complete sanctioning of Cameroon, or that we might not even have the opportunity to have a good result to eventually qualify for the World Cup. Well, at some point in time, you have to step low, fix things down there. So as to.
Okay, let's talk football. Your score prediction for Cameroon Cape Verde on Saturday.
If actually a match is going to play.
Your score prediction.
2-2.
2-2. Your score prediction, Tanda.
2-1 Cape Verde.
2-1 for Cape Verde. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this edition of the Octopus on Hippo Infos. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. We'll see you immediately after this pair of games between Cameroon and Cape Verde, and then Cameroon against Angola. Catch you and stay blessed. Ciao.